YouTube, how's your day? I just got home from work and I loaded up my backpack with some water and my bow and my arrows and my rangefinder and a trail camera. And then I put my bike in the back and I'm headed to Cold Spring again, to the same area that we went to in the last video. And this time I'm just gonna put a trail camera out, get in there as fast as I can and get out as fast as I can. Try not to disturb anything. I'm gonna put the trail camera up on the first area where I found beds. Not in the part toward the private property, but the part in that meadow, because it looked like the freshest sign in the area. So I'm gonna put it out and then we'll check back this weekend and I'll move the camera if I don't see anything. Move the camera to the next area where I thought there were beds. Since I'm not seeing any hair in any of the beds, the next best thing would be to set out a trail camera on each area where there's beds and see what shows up. And I'll just kind of keep moving it around the meadow until I catch them coming and going. This weekend I'd like to put a stand up and set. That may or may not work out time-wise. But in the meantime, we'll try to get some pictures on the game camera, and whatever we get, if we get anything good to show, I'll show you. I just put the camera out. It's about 50 yards or so bent down that way. Looks like a cut in the timber over there. I'm gonna go take a look at real quick before I move on. We had this whole side over here of this meadow we didn't even get to yet. We actually didn't even go to the very end. It's a big area. But the camera's out, and hopefully we'll have some pictures on Saturday. This old rub. I killed that thing. But it's right on that trail that I just walked down a little ways. I better get out of here. Well, on my way back home, I saw where a doe had crossed the road in that same spot that I mentioned on the last video. There were no tracks there when I came through the first time. When I came back, I saw them. And I was watching the road the whole way down there. So, I may be working a whole lot harder than I need to. And I'm definitely going to have to follow some of those trails closer to the highway this weekend. It looks like today, though, I will be able to get back to the house before it's dark and be able to shoot my bow for a few minutes. I like to do that every time I go somewhere with my bow on the backpack, because it kind of gets banged around quite a bit. Morning. We've come back to check the trail camera. See y'all in a few minutes. And I confirmed that it was just me on the camera. But so we walked down to this next area here, and you can see right over there, there's that spot right there where the grass is laid down. And I can see You can see where the grass is laid down, where they've walked through. So I put it on that tree over there. And if we don't get pictures, then we'll just keep moving it. If we don't get pictures, we'll move it. If we don't get pictures, we'll move it again.
Oh, so mine's not.
We're back at the house. It was a exhausting bike ride, pulling the kids. Good morning, YouTube. So tired. Headed back out to check the trail camera again. I set it on video this time to see if that'll help. I haven't had any triggers at all, so, but I know I'm setting it near beds, and I know that they had been freshly used whenever I put the camera out, so, and I don't know. Sometimes you gotta dump a spot that you think looks really good. It may end up that I use this spot later in the season after they've been pushed out of other areas. I can tell that there were at least a couple different bucks that used it last year because of all the rubs. So that might have been what happened. After the season starts, stuff gets pushed around a little bit. But I'm gonna do a little bit more scouting. I'll probably sit on that field and see if I can catch movement in any certain area, and then I can just move the camera over there to where I see some movement. We'll see. Well, there weren't any pictures. I've come across to a spot where I saw fresher signs the last time I was here, and I just found the spider webs over here, whereas something there already came through and knocked the spider webs down before I came. They fix them right away, so that means that something has been through here this morning. I've got some kind of a white oak right here, and I can see acorns growing on it. I'm not a tree expert, but I try to at least be able to tell the difference between the reds and the whites. They prefer white oak.